front of me. Oh, big right from Volkanovski.
From Mendez. Ripping to the right.
To say Herb might jump in.
Winning the UFC title is a prestige that only a few individuals can achieve. But what's even more challenging than that is defending the title against elite killers who are eager to take your head off.
But he is a finisher.
Yep. I mean, his first MMA coach, Joe Lopez. Kick for Holloway.
Oh my goodness, that is tight.
Alexander the Great Volkanovski is one of few UFC champions who managed to win the title, clear the division, and eliminate all the competition by beating all the top contenders.
From Mendez. Ripping to the right.
He follows up that kick with his hands.
Him on the exits.
We will look into Volkanovski's career and analyze why nobody at featherweight poses a real danger to dethroning him as champ. Volkanovski was born in Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia, but his family originates from the Bitola region in the Republic of Macedonia. Alex started his sports career as a rugby player. His 5 feet 6 inch stature wasn't an issue to stop the young Volk from tackling enormously big rugby guys, considering that he trained in Greco-Roman wrestling early, even winning a national title as a 12-year-old. At 23, he decided to leave rugby to focus on an MMA career. Thanks to the grappling techniques he learned from Greco-Roman wrestling and the explosivity, cardio, and strength he acquired from rugby, he rapidly became a great offensive wrestler and a good counter-striker with a powerful overhand right.
Oh! Over!
The Australian made his professional debut on May 19, 2012. Volk quickly made this sport his new home as he went on a 9-1 record before he was scheduled to fight for the AFC Featherweight title. On June 14, 2015, the Great was matched against James Bishop, a dangerous finisher whose fights never reached the judges' scores.
Yeah, he's got it.
Alex immediately utilized his wrestling and scored an easy takedown early in the first.
Volkanovski's been very, very busy in Southeast Asia, and interesting to note.
From there on, he pounded James's head as if trying to drive a nail.
As you said,
Oh!
nice under here.
He's hurt.
He is hurt.
Volkanovski on the brink.
Forcing the referee to jump for the rescue.
He's not defending himself. That's all right.
With this victory, Volkanovski won his first major title and was only starting. After winning his next bout and earning the local PXC featherweight title in the process, Alex was set to defend his AFC title against Jamie Mullarkey, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and powerful puncher. After missing with a left, Volk countered that with a Dan Henderson-style overhand right.
I did not.
That instantly shut Jamie's lights off. Alex saw that the opponent was out cold and prevented himself from dealing more damage that could have caused Jamie to leave the cage vertically.
Larky, Jamie, man, when he was throwing those left hooks.
After scoring an incredible record of 13-1, 11 of those victories won by stoppage, the Australian finally appeared on the UFC radar and signed with the world's best MMA organization. Volkanovski made his UFC debut in November 2016 against Yusuke Kasuya, a submission wizard with a 100% finishing rate up to that point. Despite being a grappling specialist, pulling off a submission on Volk was a hard pill to swallow.
Keep his opponent off, but Kasuya is not giving up on this position.
And every time Yusuke went for a leg lock, Alex punished him with heavy punches. While the first round was close, the second round was a one-sided pounding.
Yeah, I think he started strong, and I think
And the Australian was the one swinging the hammer.
created some space, but big, powerful shots from the top position.
Kasuya desperately went for a knee bar, but Alex defended it by keeping his posture down while punching his head mercilessly.
Final shots at the referee.
After dealing heavy damage with ground and pound strikes, the referee waved the fight off. This fight took place at lightweight. Nevertheless, right after the fight, Volk announced that he would move to featherweight, a division that he would make his home. The following year, Alex was back in action against Mizuto Hirota, an MMA veteran with almost 30 fights. The Australian utilized his wrestling throughout the bout
Very for a guy who, like I said earlier,
and controlled the fight in the clinch
Thailand's
and the grappling exchanges,
3.75 strikes per minute, which is
edging the Japanese competitor on the judges' scorecards.
Oh!
Volkanovski.
In the next bout, Volkanovski returned to Australia to face Shane Young, a crafty finisher who can end the contest wherever it goes. The great knew where his strength lay and did what he does best, wrestling.
Favorite stand, Chuck versus Tito.
And his shoulder pin to the midsection, making it very difficult for Shane Young to defend this.
He was controlling Young in the clinch.
It allows him to fall into
The outside trip against the fence repeatedly.
And taking him down at will without much resistance.
Down to the mat.
an arm lockup of Volkanovski.
By displaying a dominant performance for 3 rounds,
Just take down the 12 strikes out of 6
Alex spoiled Shane's debut by beating him convincingly via unanimous decision.
The great Volkanovski.
On February 11th, 2018, Volk was scheduled to square off against Jeremy Kennedy, an undefeated Canadian prospect who put his 0 on the line. In the first round, Alex wasted no time and took Jeremy down with a beautiful inside trip takedown.
What happens to Jeremy Kennedy?
From there on, the Australian brutalized the young fighter with heavy ground and pound as if he were a punching bag.
The range of the taller fighter. Oh! Cracking.
When the Canadian sat in his corner, judging by his facial expression, it was apparent that he didn't want to be there against a monster like Volkanovski. Alex picked up where he left off in the second and continued punishing Jeremy with vicious ground and pound strikes,
We're back right.
We have crossed the midpoint of this round.
making him regret not taking a helmet between the rounds. After receiving multiple unanswered shots,
He's kept in here and he's unloaded.
the referee saved the Canadian to fight another day.
Alexander the Great.
Alex debuted on U.S. soil on July 14, 2018 against Darren Elkins, a fighter known for his toughness and endurance to absorb a lot of damage and keep coming no matter what. Elkins was on a 6-fight winning streak, coming off a fantastic rear naked choke victory against Michael Johnson. In the first round, the Australian was eager to put that chin to the test and delivered a powerful straight right early.
Nicely right.
Elkins is down.
Unlike Volk's other fights in the UFC, this was mostly a stand-up fight,
And carry him to the stool. He's got to get there on his own power.
where Alex was winning the exchange, making Darren's face ground meat.
Cut on the bridge of the nose. There goes Volkanovski with that right. He could have a repeat.
By the end of the fight, even the commentators were shocked about how Elkins could still be standing after absorbing bombs by Volk. But the thing is, they don't call him the damage for nothing.
Zombie in front of me. Oh, big right from Volkanovski. How is Elkins still throwing on the
The great Volkanovski.
By displaying another dominant performance and turning his UFC record to 4-0, Alex was now ready for the toughest test of his career, and the legend who agreed to welcome the Australian to the big leagues was the UFC legend Chad Mendez. Chad was a 3-time title challenger, always on top of the game. As expected, Mendez, as the betting favorite, pushed Alex to the limits.
nice right hand there.
Right now, waiting for the punch and then following.
And one could argue that he even stole the first round from the Australian.
Shot from Mendez. He gets Volkanovski apart when I get away.
Look at that. He got right back up to.
In an attempt to prevent Mendez from taking him down,
Load so much. All the huge.
Alex kept the pressure in the second, and the American gave him a run for his money moment when he countered his attack with a mighty right hand that stumbled the Australian. Mendez used the momentum and followed him with another beautiful 1-2 combo that briefly dropped Alex down. Chad was eager to prove that there are levels to this game and took the great down where he secured the back where he could attempt a submission.
So look how, okay, now Octagon. Don't forget, see if he can control it. Oh, he's got the back. What about?
However, the Australian fighter prevailed over the storm and was now angry for retaliation. He gained his momentum by the end of the round,
When you oh, he's hurt. He's hurt.
constantly attacking the exhausted Mendez, who was unable to answer those shots.
Trouble.
Alex then cooked Chad's liver in Hannibal Lecter style,
Pace here too.
followed by a powerful right hand that dropped the American, unable to continue.
Hits him with that one on the forehead, and that's what dropped him. It was the one to the temple.
By dismantling one of the greatest featherweights of all time, Volk was ready for the biggest challenge of his career, and what more significant challenge than the king of Rio himself, Jose Aldo, the best featherweight of all time.
Connects him, he's free.
While his last fight against Mendez was unpredictable and exciting, this bout was more of a technical exchange between the two.
And as you saw in that feature there just now, he said,
Alex was too fast and powerful for Aldo.
Kickboxing's Eugene Behrman among those in the corner.
And the Brazilian had no answer for Volk's attacks,
There's that low kick.
especially when they were in the clinch position.
Against the side of the octagon on the
By controlling the fight on the feet,
He follows up that kick with his hands. Needed the target in a blink.
and in the clinch,
Volkanovski does. Once he gets you, gets sucked.
Volkanovski earned another huge victory, turning 7-0 in the UFC.
The next contender for Max Holloway.
There wasn't a finish, but a statement was made. Volkanovski was now knocking on the title challenge door. The UFC featherweight champion at the time, Max Holloway, seemed unstoppable. He beat Jose Aldo twice, and fans and journalists, including Joe Rogan, considered him the greatest featherweight fighter of all time. Their first fight occurred on December 14, 2019 in Las Vegas. Unlike most of his previous bouts, this fight was a high-level contest of stand-up exchange,
Volkanovski.
There's another good low kick.
where Volk was slightly the better striker.
Nice low kick by Volkanovski. Good left hand. When in between camps.
Holloway was considered the best striker in the division. He put that status to the test, and Alex gladly accepted it.
Holloway does such a great job of just sliding out of range when Volkanovski attacks him.
In a technical exchange throughout 5 rounds,
A big part of the strategy, slow down that movement. Length of the legs matter. If anyone's ever attacked his leg. Again,
the Australian got the better of Max.
another inside low kick.
Right? A guy with big power. Volkanovski is the real deal.
As he kept counterattacking him with strikes.
Fighting almost exclusively right.
The Hawaiian had no answer for Volkanovski's boxing,
And using it
To Joe Lopez, Eugene Behrman, another.
Volkanovski is a fantastic fighter, man. He thinks so well. And he's so tall.
and was unanimously defeated on the judges' scorecards. The UFC featherweight division had a new champion, and his name was Alexander Volkanovski. Since Max is a fan favorite, many UFC fans wanted to see an immediate rematch. Holloway started that bout as the better fighter,
On that lead leg.
Guy with the legs for sure. Nice uppercut from Max there.
winning the stand-up exchange during the first 2 rounds.
The pace.
Nice show of his first MMA coach, Joe Lopez. Great kick for Holloway.
The Hawaiian ended the second round strong by delivering an uppercut from hell that dropped Volkanovski momentarily.
Volkanovski hits the deck.
Alex knew that he was 2 rounds down, and he was aware that he would lose the belt if he didn't make some crucial adjustments mid-fight. Sure enough, he started to gain momentum in the later round,
The body, good head move.
Oh, that was good.
combining his boxing with leg kicks to disrupt Holloway's game.
And a heavy leg kick. It was a better round. I'd still go with Holloway, but still.
By winning the exchanges in the 4th and 5th,
Oh, look at that. That's good work.
the judges thought Volkanovski did enough to retain the belt, granting him a split decision victory against the legend.
And still the undisputed.
In his second title defense, Volkanovski was scheduled to meet the submission specialist, Brian Ortega. Ortega is a feared jiu-jitsu wizard, and everyone knows that one mistake is all it takes for Brian to win a fight at any moment.
Not good. That's it. That's it.
When they met in the octagon, Ortega got Volk into a deep-mounted guillotine choke, and it seemed this would be the end of Alexander's reign as champion. Alex was caught in the triangle choke shortly after, escaping the guillotine, and escaped that too. Besides those 2 submission attempts, the fight was one-sided in Alex's favor,
Inside the club.
reigning supreme once again. And, of course, the biggest mismatch in Volk's career was his next title defense against the Korean Zombie, when he made the Korean fighter look like he had never fought before. Volkanovski battered the Korean for 3 rounds.
He got crashed.
He fires up those shots too.
2 more big shots. Volkanovski. Oh, my goodness.
Beautiful right hand.
Scoring as many knockdowns in the process while butchering his face and making his nickname fit the description.
Over.
By the end of the 3rd, the Zombie looked like he had fought a T-Rex. and entered the 4th round to meet the inevitable. Alex sealed his destiny by delivering a powerful 1-2 combo that made the Korean look like a drunk man trying to leave the bar. The referee, Herb Dean, jumped in for the rescue, preventing him from leaving the arena on a stretcher. And to close the door to any doubt about who is the better fighter between him and Holloway, they were scheduled to fight for the 3rd time. Max wasn't given a present, but earned that #1 contender spot again by beating 2 of the top featherweight contenders, Calvin Kattar and Yair Rodriguez. However, the 3rd fight wasn't even close. It was complete domination by Alex.
Oh, good right hand by Volkanovski.
Who closed any doubt about who was the better fighter between the two. Volkanovski won the bout via unanimous decision, with all 3 judges scoring the fight 50-45.
The undisputed.
On February 12, 2023, the Great was granted a chance at Makhachev's belt in the UFC's lightweight division, an opportunity to join the Double Champs Club. In a back-and-forth fight where both fighters had good moments during the bout,
Volkanovski. Makhachev has experienced a fight atmosphere like this. And Volkanovski.
Makhachev was slightly better in the grappling exchanges.
Oh, beautiful takedown.
But could not deal much damage from those positions. On the other hand, Alex was the superior striker who had better moments on the feet.
He took him down. Hard and powerful.
Tagging Islam's face with good shots.
Realizing a lot of success on the feet. Wait a minute. It is sniper.
Volk ended the bout strongly by hammering Makhachev with heavy ground and pound,
The biggest moment of the fight.
leaving the impression that he did enough to win the war unanimously. However, the judges saw otherwise and thought Makhachev's grappling trumped Volk's striking, allowing him to remain the UFC lightweight champion. According to many, Alex won that fight and was robbed, but nevertheless, he remained the UFC featherweight champion since this fight took place at lightweight. Volkanovski returned to featherweight to defend the title against Yair Rodriguez, a superior striker who won the interim belt, while Alex fought for the lightweight title. For the first 2 rounds, Volk controlled the fight by keeping the Mexican fighter down while pounding his head like a pinball machine. That was just an overture to the main play when Alex countered Yair's attack in the 3rd, catching him clean with a powerful right that wobbled the Mexican. Volk went after him like a predator after a wounded prey to use the momentum. After delivering some heavy shots, Alex took the Mexican fighter down, who looked like a fish out of the water, and constantly battered him with heavy shots. After smashing his head off the canvas, the referee had seen enough and waved the fight off.
Featherweight champion of the world.
Alexander Volkanovski is a pound-for-pound great who not only won the UFC title, but also cleared the division by dominating everyone he fought at featherweight. By displaying dominant performances in the octagon and outclassing the competition, slowly but surely, he is on the way to cementing his status as the featherweight GOAT. And what do you guys think? Do you consider Volkanovski as one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time? How do you think a rematch between him and Makhachev would go? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you would like to watch more videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.